Good morning. I am Day. I am in recovery from loss, grief, trauma, and addiction. In my years of actively pursuing intentional wellness and recovery, I have found some tools to put in my toolbox to keep me focused and centered, knowing that I am loved and working on my own wellness. Walk with me on the recovery journey and remember that you are not alone. Fair Use Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. March 20th. Love and Tolerance. Love and tolerance of others is our code. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 84. I have found that I have to forgive others in all situations to maintain any real spiritual progress. The vital importance of forgiving may not be obvious to me at first sight, but my studies tell me that every great spiritual teacher has insisted strongly upon it. I must forgive injuries, not just in words or as a matter of form, but in my heart. I do this not for the other person's sake, but for my own sake. Resentment, anger, or a desire to see someone punished are things that rot my soul. Such things fasten my troubles to me with chains. They tie me to other problems that have nothing to do with my original problem. Courage to Change, One Day at a Time in Al Anon, March 20th. One of the topics in our fourth step guide, The Blueprint for Progress, is self-worth. As I work through this step, taking a searching and fearless moral inventory of myself, I found that I have always judged my value on the basis of my accomplishments or on what other people said about me. This meant I had to work all the time or constantly make myself the center of attention. At best, my sense of satisfaction was fleeting. With step 4, I realized that part of my self-worth can be based on my ability to love other people. Saying a kind word, writing a considerate note, or just taking time out from my other thoughts to appreciate another human being enriches my entire day. I have the power to feel good about myself regardless of my achievements, whether or not other people validate my worthiness. Today's reminder: let me look for appropriate opportunities to share my love with people around me. In this way, I celebrate one of my most positive traits without expecting anything in return. Paying someone a compliment that comes from the heart or thanking them sincerely for their kindness may be the nicest thing I can do for myself today. There is a quote by Abraham Lincoln, and it reads, "It is difficult to make a man miserable while he feels worthy of himself and claims kindred to the great God who made him." Just for today, Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts, March 20th. Higher Power. Most of us have no trouble admitting that addiction had become a destructive force in our lives. Our best efforts resulted in ever greater destruction and despair. At some point, we realized that we needed the help of some power greater than our addiction. Basic text, page 24. Most of us know without a doubt that our lives have been filled with destruction. Learning that we have a disease called addiction helps us understand the source or cause of this destruction. We can recognize addiction as a power that has worked devastation in our lives. When we take the first step, we admit that the destructive force of addiction is bigger than we are. We are powerless over it. At this point, our only hope is to find some power greater than the force of our addiction, a power bent on preserving life, not ending it. We don't have to understand it or even name it. We only have to believe that there could be such a higher power. The belief that a benevolent power greater than our addiction just might exist gives us enough hope to stay clean a day at a time. Just for today, I believe in the possibility of some power that's bigger than my addiction. Today, Emotions Anonymous, March 20th. Reflection for today. One of the features of emotional illness is repression and suppression of emotions. Feelings are considered bad or wrong, and willpower is used to deny and avoid these feelings. This leads to an increasing load of emotional pain and confusion. Identifying and releasing feelings is one of the essential first steps to recovery of emotional health. Feelings are neither good nor bad, and not to be judged and condemned. They are to be appropriately expressed and experienced. I need not feel guilty about the way I feel. I am responsible for making the decision to accept my feelings and manage them appropriately. Will I be a friend to my feelings today? Meditation for today. God, please help me. Let you guide me and strengthen me as I live a new emotional way of life. Today I will remember acceptance, experience, and expression, not condemnation, repression, and suppression. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics' dysfunctional families. March 20th. Trust. These adult children rarely stop to think that self-sufficiency is covering up a fear of rejection, which they think could come if they ask for help. BRB, page 102. Most of us had no one we could constantly rely on as children. Everyone seemed to be caught up in the dysfunction, and we were left to manage things ourselves. We became very self-sufficient and were sometimes even praised for that ability. As adults, our self-sufficiency became a way of controlling things around us. If we did it ourselves, then we didn't have to rely on anyone else, especially because experience told us that most people weren't trustworthy anyway. Even in recovery, some of us clung to our self-sufficiency, not asking for help because we found it hard to believe that we'd get it, and we would simply not allow ourselves to feel rejected yet again. But as we continued to go to meetings, we gradually heard the truths we needed and became stronger. We learned to allow ourselves to feel vulnerable and trust that there was help available if only we would ask for it. Help in our recovery, help in our work life, and help in our personal life. The affirmation reads, "On this day I will give myself the gift of asking for help, whether it's in my recovery or anywhere in life." DHB, Devotion, Health, and Beauty, Daily Affirmations, Reflections, Devotions, and Meditations. The one mistake made in the recovery process is to not take the time to use the tools offered for strengthening the recovery journey. Share, subscribe, like, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be, one day at a time.